UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez took place over the past weekend, and I am here to give my reactions and breakdown of the entire card, going through the results of every single fight, starting with the early prelims, ending with the main event. This was a decent. The main card was good. The prelims were pretty horrible to watch in real time. Um, every fight was either boring or I was wrong about on the prelims, so this will be really fun to go through, and I'm looking forward to this. Yeah, dude. Unfortunately, this was the fallback down to reality after such a hot start we had in 2026. But let's get into that and why that happened potentially. Starting with the first fight of the night, Juliana Miller versus Cardi Judice. Judice gets the job done by unanimous decision here. Carly looked good, man. Everything I talked about in the predictions kind of came through. Miller was trying to go for takedowns. That was her best offense, and even when she did be able to get the takedowns, she couldn't really do anything with them. Judice was just more active on the feet, so that led to her getting the decision win. Pretty cut and dry. Good stuff here. Not too much to say about this one. Unlike your next fight, Jordan Leavitt versus Yadier del Valle. Yadier del Valle, man. Dude. Dude. This guy, minus 400 favorite, right? This fucking guy, Yadier del Valle, man, couldn't defend a takedown, couldn't get up from the full guard, couldn't push off Leavitt's hips, couldn't land any good strikes, was just getting walked down by this guy, Leavitt, when he wasn't even throwing anything, Leavitt was walking this guy down. He couldn't defend any body kicks, and in the third, he was getting fucking spanked by this guy. How are you gonna let another grown-ass man do this to you, bro? I have been spanked by less grown-ass men than fucking Yadier del Valle has now. What are we doing here? How do you let this happen? Dude, this fucking pissed me off, man. I guess maybe in hindsight, in retrospect, should have taken less value in looking at him, looking at his past performances, because again, one of them was clearly rigged, which I now fully believe. I fully believe Isaac Delgarian should be thrown in prison. They're gonna play this fight in fucking court as proof that Delgarian was throwing his fight, because of how bad Yadier del Valle looked in this fight, man. I can't fucking believe how horrible he looked. I've seen enough. I don't need to see him anymore. I don't need to see del Valle. You can cut him. Go back to fucking Fury FC, dude. I've seen enough. You're good, man. How are you 10-0 and losing this badly to Jordan Leavitt? Who's not even dude, everything I said was still true. Leavitt, his striking was bad, and he's a good grappler, but he gets countered so easily. How could you not get anything off this guy until at least the third round? I just don't get it, bro. I don't get it. That's insane stuff from him, man. We're just moving on, bro. I don't know what to say about that. Moving on, Rowe versus Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani. Lebosnoyani just simply out-grappled him, which got him the decision win. I can't believe it was a split decision. I guess they maybe gave Rowe the second round, and then the third. I didn't see that at all. I think Lebosnoyani just out-grappled him pretty easily in the first and the second. Rowe did finish strong, though. He was walking him down, landing some big shots towards the end, but Lebosnoyani was just very smart at range. He mixed in the takedowns well, and he had some very good ground and pounds and threatening front chokes while he was on the ground grappling. So, a pretty good performance from Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani. And against a good opponent, Rowe, the people that beat him usually can reach at least main card status, so I think that's what I expect out of Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani for him, but great performance. I'm excited to see more from him. Genuinely, I think this was a really good fight for him. What was not a good fight was Brahimaj versus Punahele Soriano. This was a very disappointing performance from both guys, I think. Not a lot to say here. Brahimaj kind of just laid on him for offense, but Soriano was able to get more damage off him to get the decision win. Yeah, dude, this just was kind of a stinker, man. Not much to say about this one. I'm not very excited to see either of these guys going forward now, and of course I got this one fucking wrong because Brahimaj just couldn't get anything off, so he just decided to lay on him, which is just cool. Yeah, so not much to say about that fight. Next fight we have Cornolle versus Jocelyn Edwards. Holy shit, that was a very good performance from Jocelyn Edwards. I guess a good finishing sequence, because at the start of the fight, she was kind of getting pieced up a little bit. Cornolle was able to land knees and was defending takedowns really well. But in the second round, Jocelyn Edwards finds the back body lock, dumps Cornolle on her shoulder, which caused something like to go wrong in Cornolle, whether she dislocated her shoulder or broke her collarbone. She was in a lot of pain from that point on. Edwards then got on the ground and pound. It looked like the fight was going to be over. The ref didn't stop it, so she turned that into a rear naked choke. Got the win that way. Very, very good performance from Jocelyn Edwards. She looks like an actual decent prospect. That's 4. She went, okay, her first 8 fights in the UFC, she went 4-4, all went to decisions. She is now on a 4-fight finishing streak. She is looking very good, better than ever, and like one of the most hyped up contenders of her division. I am very excited to see Jocelyn Edwards going forward, and see what kind of stuff she can do, because she looks like a genuine, like, you might be, like, in some time, you might be able to make, like, a fight night main event with Jocelyn Edwards in it. We might see that in the near future, genuinely. She's a very exciting fighter to watch, someone to definitely watch out for going forward. Yeah, man, that was a really good performance. That was easily the best one on the prelims up to this point and going forward. Great stuff there. Alden Coria versus Louis Gurule up next. Great performance from Coria, man. He pieced him up for 15 minutes. He was jabbing him up. He made him miss. He was utilizing a speed advantage, just landing good uppercuts, reverse grappling positions. Dude, and then by the time we got to the third round, he was just straight styling on Gurule, ripping body shots, landing some front kicks, going for spinning elbows and mixing in takedowns. All good stuff from Alden Coria here. He got the judges' sweep. 30-27 on all 3 scorecards is very impressive. I do kind of wish this was just a bit more of a fight. Like, at this point, it's like we got one good performance and like 3 or 4 pretty boring fights up to this point. So like, I do kind of wish we saw something more from Louis Gurule, but he is a pretty decent fighter. So I think it is a kind of a statement win to, you know, for Coria to have a performance like this against him. This is easily the Jesus Aguilera fight was pretty close, and Odi Osbourne was pretty close. This is easily the most one-sided loss Gurule's had, so that's unfortunate to him. But Coria does look good, man. He might be someone to watch out for in the future flyweight division rankings. So good performance from him, man. I liked what I saw here. As kind of boring as the fight was, I did like what I saw out of Coria. Up next, another boring fight. This time, Odi Osbourne versus Idiris. Odi Osbourne, man. This fucking guy, dude. Not much to say here. Idiris rocked Osbourne in the first. Osbourne kind of started getting momentum back towards the end of that round. I don't know if that was enough to really win him it though. Second round, Osbourne was landing body shots, but then got taken down. And then from then on out, any chance at Osbourne's success would be countered with takedowns and grappling from Idiris. Dude, not much to say about this fight, bro. I'm trying to think what went wrong here for Osbourne. I don't know. Apparently he doesn't have solid enough defensive grappling. Apparently Idiris' grappling has gotten better. He's started to utilize that a bit more. Or you know, Joseph Morales. Maybe he's just him. Joseph Morales might really just be him, you know. Who knows, dude, but I didn't see the counter punches that I really wanted out of Osbourne. And I did like the accuracy of Idiris. I think he looked a bit better. He looked good in this fight, so I think maybe that's what it was just improvements from Idiris than what we saw last of him. So, who knows, man? It's just... Fuck, I'm like 3-3 at this point. No, I'm worse. I've only gotten Coria, Jocelyn, and... Oh no, I'm 4-3 at this point, right? I'm 4-3 in the cards. Not looking good. Pretty boring fights up to this point. So by the time we got to Njokuani versus Carlos Leal, my brain was just kind of half on. I was kind of tuning out. I was like a sleeping dolphin, basically. But then we get to this fight. On my first watch, I said all that, so I didn't really appreciate this fight as much as other people. I heard other people say this was a fight of the night, so I did end up watching this one back. And yeah, I do think this actually was a pretty good fight, worth watching. Leal does win this by decision. I do have to give him props for sticking to his plan, which actually worked, but in a way I didn't expect. I didn't think the headhunting would be enough, and I didn't think his footwork would be good enough to be able to, put the pressure that it did onto Njokuani, but it did, man. The headhunting and pressure mixed with big strikes thrown was enough to get him to the distance and keep Njokuani against the fence, who was kicking himself, going for the elbows and knees. He was trying to get, whenever it was up close, was the biggest exchanges. Njokuani was just trying to find a big strike to kind of bring back the momentum, which he could never really establish. Leal was just kind of pushing him back, throwing him around, pushing him against the cage, controlling the pace, controlling the range. It was a really good performance out of Leal, and I have to really give him props because this is something I see something in that. It wasn't obviously like a big surprising big knockout finish, but both guys fought really well. It was pretty even. Like, it was a close fight, but it was still like Leal won this pretty easily. This was a good one, man. This was a good one. This was a bit of a dogfight, Njokuani, I have to give him props too for, he did everything I expected him to do. He was trying to jab, he was trying to throw up front kicks and land in close shots, so he did do that. But the pressure he applied wasn't good enough, and the fucking punches, the big strikes that Leal was throwing himself were just a lot to deal with. So I have to give Leal props. Good fight from Leal, man. That was a good performance. I will give him that. That was the prelim. At this point, fucking 7 out of 8 fights have gone to a decision. There have been 46 combined minutes of ground control time, so I'm like, we get to Zachary Reese versus Michel Pereira, and I'm just like, fuck this card. This card is dog shit up to this point, dude. I am disgusted by what I watched by this fight. This was such a bad fight to watch, dude. Genuinely, it looked like both guys were just trying to lose. Reese fights like such a fucking idiot. I thought I gave him credit for like having a game plan. This dude had no idea what he was doing, man. This guy was just jumping up out. He was jumping around at range in the first round, just trying to find something, and then just gets instantly hurt. I don't know how you don't expect that out of Michel Pereira to just try his hardest. And to give props to Michel Pereira, he did fight a bit smarter than he usually does, but even then, it wasn't really that great because he still somehow looked drained of his cardio. And then in the first, he has this glancing blow to the dick that he calls off himself and takes like a few seconds to recover, get his cardio back. The crowd looks at the fucking thing. It doesn't look close at all. It looks like a glancing blow at best. So that doesn't go long. And then later in the first, Reese hits him again with another low blow that he calls off. No point was taken at that point, which I guess maybe because they were so close, there were such glancing blows. But like, if you're doing it twice, man, like there's no consistency with these calls for like taking points away versus not, just giving the warnings, right? So the fight. Throughout this entire fight, I was just like, I don't fucking know, man. I was just so, like, enamored by how bad of a fight this was. It was hard for me to, like, actually figure out who was winning and who was losing. I guess Michel probably won that first round. And then in the second round, Zachary Reese did start fighting better. He did get off an eye pokes, which is just add the fucking cherry on top, you know what I mean? That's just great stuff there. But despite that, he was landing body kicks and some combinations. Michel had some more short moments of explosiveness, which maybe swayed the judges in his favor, because he does end up winning by split decision. And I can't call robbery because you fought like a fucking idiot, Zachary Reese. I'm sorry, I just can't. It was a close fight, but you just did nothing really that big to convince me that you won this fight. You guys, like, I genuinely, by the end, I was like, this could be a draw. By the end, I was like, this could be a draw. Both guys could just fucking lose this, and we'd all be losers, man. This fight pissed me off, dude. And I was wrong. Like, I was just... Fuck, yo. I'm dying over here, man. Up next, Jacoby Smith versus Jariza Harrell. I didn't want this fight to be the one to pick it up, dude. This was tough. This was tough to watch, but for another reason. First round, Smith just absolutely brutalizes Harrell. He gets the takedown. Harrell was able to get for the first time. Smith showed some good takedown defense when Harrell shot his own takedown, turned that around, and immediately started going for some vicious ground and pound forearms, which like basically knocked out Harrell in the first one thrown. But based off the way the ref was positioned, I don't think he could really tell that Harrell was out. He might have just seen him as just kind of eating the shots. It took like 3 or 4 more strikes for the ref to tell that he was in fact out. And then when the ref went in to stop the fight, Smith had to be like physically pushed off of Harrell to stop. So Harrell ate like 8 fucking forearm strikes to the head after being knocked out, which was tough to watch, man. Seeing, like everything we talked about in the predictions video with this guy's journey, to watch that happen to him was tough, bro. That was tough. So yeah, Smith gets the first round knockout. Fucking that brings the crowd back to life, dude. He was more patient and calm than compared to his Nico Price fight. He worked his cardio a bit better and was still able to get the first round finish. So I like that. I like what I saw from Jacoby Smith. I do think he's a pretty dangerous guy going forward. So I'm excited to see what we see next from him, dude. But this was a good performance from Jacoby Smith. Up next is Sergey Spivac versus Ante Delija. Ante Delija. These fucking guys, man. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that performance? The first round, this guy's just bobbing and weaving and getting jabbed up by Spivac. And I don't know what the plan was. What was the plan that first round? What were you doing? Were you just hoping to tank all these shots and try to find a big opening to fucking just get a quick knockout like you did against Tybura? Well, you didn't. You just started getting jabbed up by Spivac, and Spivac won the fucking round, dude. And then round 2, again, you're getting pieced up until you're able to land a pretty big 1-2 combo, which wins you back the round. It shook up Spivac, to which he had to just clinch for the rest of the round. Third round comes along, he gets taken down. He did get up, but kept at range to ultimately lose the fight by decision. I don't know what this game plan was. I don't know what to say, man. I don't know how you knock out Tybura first round and then lose by decision to Sergey Spivac. It doesn't make sense. It genuinely doesn't make sense to me. Especially in the camp and the trainings that you do, bro. You gotta do better than this, bro. This was fucking shambolic, man. Fuck, dude. Why? It's just oh. I don't even know what to think of you now. Genuinely. That reset so much I thought about you. That did away everything you did in that Tybura fight, bro. Not gonna lie. I don't know what to think anymore. I just think that game plan was so bad. And you gotta, no, this is just, no. When you're fighting someone like Spivac who can just fucking take you down, and which you did do a pretty good job, getting back up, but he's gonna take you down, bro. You gotta apply pressure. You have to apply the pressure when you're fighting Spivac. You have to. And you are the kind of guy that can. I saw you do it before. What are you doing? I don't know. I'm just screaming into a mic at this point. Oh, that was just fucked up, bro. Next up, we have Dan Ige versus Melchizedek Costa. Fuck, man, I was so confident of a decision victory by Costa, bro. I didn't think how do you predict that, genuinely? How do you predict a finish? Oh, aside from just age, just picking yeah, this is the fucking time, which unfortunately for me it was. Costa finishes Dan Ige with a spinning back kick and punches on the ground. Nasty stuff. Also before that, he landed a very nasty front kick, which looked to wobble Ige, who then tried to turn that into a takedown, but then Costa threatened the guillotine pretty well. And yeah, man, Costa becomes the first person to ever finish Dan Ige. Really great performance from him. Like I said, I did predict that he, the kicks would play a portion of this. It played out pretty much the way I thought. I didn't think the spinning back kick would actually get the finish, though. So, really good fight for Costa here. Really good win. Calls out Diego Lopez, which is interesting. I think that's an interesting one. I don't know, now that he's just entered the ranking, going from into the rankings to asking for a guy who just fought for a title is interesting. But we'll see, man. I think maybe an Arnold Allen is a bit more of a fight that makes sense, just rankings-wise. But yeah, man, I'm liking the direction this featherweight division in 2026 is now starting to go. Between this and the Evloev Murphy fight we're getting in London, I think we're starting to rebuild it a bit more. We just gotta wait for Yadier Rodriguez to finally get booked, bro. We gotta wait for Yadier Rodriguez to finally get booked, and we will be fucking back, dude. We will be back, man. This division will come back, bro. This will be it. This will be its year, man. That's good shit from Costa. Up next, Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. Dude, I couldn't even enjoy this because of fucking how wrong I was. And you know what? Fine, I'll put my hands up, bro. You know what? Fair play, Uros Medic. I didn't know you like that, brother. I didn't know you had hands like that, dude. Fucking hell, man. This was a tough knockout loss for Jeff Neal, who I don't know, bro. He keeps getting knocked out by these glancing blows, dude. It must just be something about that fucking temple of his, bro, that he has a literal on and off switch. You know what I mean? Like, you just gotta hit it the right way. Maybe it's not about power. It's just about how you hit it. But regardless, fantastic knockout win, first round for Uros Medic here. He looked great. Not even much to say about it. He just fucking fought well. Like, it was literally like a minute into the fight, he knocked him out. So, not much to say here about his performance. He just looked really good. And he's continuing on his streak of first round finishes. So, great, man. That was really good. Apparently we're going to have a fight night card in Serbia. So, I think him versus Edwards, like he called out, makes a lot of sense. That would be a very interesting fight to have. It's just so crazy seeing how, like, you know, MMA Guru said this, bro, but in like August, I would pair up Medic with like a Randy Brown or someone like that, you know, someone who's just starting to get back into the rankings, and how here he is about to fight a fucking like easily a top 10 guy, which it's just crazy to me, man. You know, the people that beat, you can't even blame me for like being like picking Jeff Neal, I don't think. Every single person that's beaten Jeff Neal has immense success in the UFC. I think they averaged like 3 main events and 5 pay-per-view fights. So we'll see how Uros Medic, if he can meet those expectations. Obviously, that's kind of like the average there. So we'll see what he can do going forward here, man. But I could see him getting a win over Neal or Leon Edwards now. That was a really good performance after what he just did to Jeff Neal. Like, who does that to Jeff Neal? Who? No one does that. I said Carlos Pratas. That's it. Now it's Carlos Pratas and Uros Medic. So I expect big things from him now, man. This is a very interesting guy. Very interesting guy. Moving on to our main event. All right, at least I cooked fucking amazingly with this one, bro. At least I cooked with this one. Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Holy, what a performance with Strickland. He did even better than I thought he would, man. He got the finish in the third, won all 3 rounds. He was fighting behind the jab, doubled up doubled up jab and right hand combo every single time Hernandez reacted. Worked fucking wonders for this guy. Hernandez himself did pretty decently blitzing and tying into the clinch and uppercutting when he was up close. But man, dude, Strickland just controlled the pace, controlled the distance. Hernandez just couldn't cut off Sean. He just couldn't get any striking going, just couldn't get any grappling going. And then in the third round, Strickland with a massive knee to the body hurts Hernandez. Strickland then applies immense pressure to get the win. We talked about this in the predictions that body area is a very, you know, a weak point for Hernandez. It wasn't, the knee itself wasn't even on like the liver side or nothing. It was straight to the stomach, and that still ended up hurting Hernandez. So I think that's a pretty big weakness in his game, which is unfortunate to see because I don't really know how you fix that per se. But yeah, man, great performance from Strickland, dude. Like, even better, dude. For Strickland to get a finish, that fucking means something against a guy like Anthony Hernandez. You know, 8-fight winning streak, dude. He was on a fucking run, man. So for Strickland to go out there and put on the kind of performance like he did, one of his best wins ever. At this point in his career, after the title shots, after the title fights, after the losses to DDP, very, very good stuff from Sean Strickland here. Gave his props to Hernandez after the fight too, which is great to see. Yeah, man, this was great. This was a great performance. I don't even know what to say, bro. Like, I cooked, Strickland cooked, I cooked, we all cooked. And for what it's worth, right? For what it's worth, I'm 4-0 on main card predictions, bro. You know what I mean, bro? I'm 4-0 on main event predictions. So take that into consideration when I hop on here on Friday and talk about how Brandon Moreno's gonna knock out Loner Kavanaugh. You know what I mean, bro? But yeah, dude, that was the card itself. We'll do a little something different to end off the video here. Let's talk about the predictions. Overall, I went 7-7. Sean Strickland kept me from getting a Maki Koshi for the sumo fans, and I didn't even get a Kachi Koshi. I just fucking straight even. I'm going to start implementing a grade system into my predictions, and for this one, I'm going to be given a D-, which sucks, man, because I'm off of 2 A's, so to see, to go from that to a D- is tough. The card itself, overall, I'm going to give a 2 out of 5. I think the prelims had a lot of drag, a lot of bore to it. The only things worth watching from there are the Jocelyn Edwards finish and the fight between Leal and Njokuani. Other than that, don't touch those prelim fights, man. Those are not worth watching. The main card itself, though, was very, very good. The last 3 performed perfectly. Those were all good. And of course the Jacoby Smith knockout was pretty vicious too. So overall 2 out of 5, not as fun as like the pay-per-view so far, but it was an alright card. It was decent overall. But that is my breakdown of UFC Fight Night Strickland versus Hernandez. What do you guys think of the card? What do you think of the video? Be sure to leave a comment, leaving some of your biggest reactions from the Fight Night itself. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like. And if you want to see more from me before I put out my predictions for UFC Mexico City, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And also hype up the video, man. We need to do this all collectively, bro. Hype up this video. Get me some more algorithm traffic. Please. Please. I know where I'm going with that, but yeah, that's something. If you want to support the channel, that's something you can always do. Also, you should go check out my channel. I finally put together a new banner, new profile picture, made the channel look overall more clean, so I think I'm happy with that. Go check it out, man. Go see what it looks like. I think it looks fucking sick over there, bro. But yeah, man, that's gonna do it for me though. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.